Imagine this. You are a loser football player with big ambitions, but your looks and skills are holding you back. Furthermore, you were brutally rejected by every girl for your looks. But that is, until you get a cheat skill that helps you score more goals and become more attractive by scoring with hot girls. Our protagonist, Hong Min-jun, used to be a promising football player and made a name for himself in his childhood. But ever since he became a middle schooler, for some reason, he could not improve his skills anymore. As a result, he slowly began to fade away in the crowd, leading to the downfall of his football career. By the way, he has enrolled in one of the worst universities, known as Hojin University, which accepts anyone. But the reason behind Min-jun's admission is that Hojin University has a good physical education field, and Min-jun hopes to become an ace and advance to the K-League. As he loses all hope and hits rock bottom, the goddess of football appears before him. Bro, I didn't know we had a goddess for football. Ronaldo must be very pissed. The goddess then tells him that she will grant him a wish. Initially taken aback, Min-jun states his wish, but his wish is something very absurd and has no connection with football. Needless to say, the goddess is also stunned to hear Min-jun's weird wish. To put it simply, being a Rizzless guy, his only wish is physical intimacy. Anyhow, she reluctantly grants his wish. Upon being granted the wish, something happens in Min-jun's body. Although Min-jun thinks the wish and the goddess thing was crap, a window appears before him, with stats like talent, attractiveness, intelligence, and many more. Hey, we got Rizzless Jinwoo before GTA 6! Upon closer inspection, Min-jun realizes that his attractiveness and intelligence are too low. Thus, he comes to the realization that his childhood friend rejected him because he is ugly. Then he goes into virgin mode while pondering. Anyhow, he then receives 50 bonus reward points. Recalling the harsh words, Min-jun decides to add those 50 points into attractiveness. As Min-jun wakes up, he wonders if that Jinwoo thingy was just a dream. Realizing he is late, he rushes to attend his first class at Hojin University. On his way, he spots a bozo bothering a hot girl. As Min-jun wonders who she is, that girl spots him. She then pulls Min-jun closer and introduces him as her boyfriend to get rid of that bozo. When that bozo refuses to believe Min-jun is her boyfriend, the girl pulls Min-jun even closer to prove that she is, in fact, his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Min-jun is confused as to what is happening. She even tries to charm Min-jun. Anyhow, she manages to convince that bozo by flirting with Min-jun. Something tells me this girl is kinda sus. But Min-jun has his priorities straight. Thus, he rushes to catch the bus, but he accidentally drops his name tag. Now, the girl knows his name and the university he studies at. Anyway, Min-jun manages to catch the bus. Just as the director calls Min-jun's name for attendance, he enters the room. The director is shocked to catch a glimpse of him. Everyone else starts staring too. As the professor questions who he is, Min-jun proceeds to look at his reflection. Needless to say, Min-jun is shocked. When the director questions him about his identity, he introduces himself as Hong Min-jun. In response, the director implies that he is definitely Hong Min-jun, but feels that Min-jun looked different the last time they met. Min-jun's classmates also agree, saying that they usually don't see a face like that at their university. Then the director tells them to put on their uniforms so they can start training. With that being said, Min-jun's team is forced to face 3rd and 4th year seniors. Although his teammates are displeased, they have no other choice. After the coach explains the strategy and formation, the match starts. Right off the bat, the seniors dominate, scoring effortlessly. Upon witnessing their horrible performance, the head coach concludes that he doesn't see any good talent. Meanwhile, Min-jun gets pissed and tells his teammates to pass the ball, venting his anger at the coach for forcing them to face the seniors. To everyone's surprise, Minjun goes beast mode, dribbling past the seniors, creating scoring opportunities, and outmaneuvering defenders.
Needless to say, the head coach is shocked. His dribbling skills also shock the seniors.
Eventually, he manages to score a goal, thus shocking everyone in the process. After that, Minjun finds out that he has no available points left. He wonders if scoring a goal wasn't enough to earn points as a reward. Following this, he decides to put himself through intense training to get some points. However, even after training for hours, he gets no points. But then he recalls what he wished for. As a result, he realizes what he needs to do to get more points. I think you're also qualified enough to understand what he needs to do to get points. Anyhow, Minjun goes back to wash up, only to find that same girl quietly inhaling the scent of his shirt.
Brother,
Doing absolutely nothing shady that might raise an eyebrow. I knew this girl was kind of weird. Well, it's definitely not weird that she started stalking a guy she just met a while ago. Following this, Minjun approaches her. Although she initially dismisses him, Minjun reminds her that they met earlier that day. However, she gets embarrassed and insists that she doesn't know him. In response, Minjun asks why she's holding his shirt. When he calls her out for being sus, she flat out denies everything. Minjun tells her to calm down as he understands her situation. However, she goes into full denial mode. She then tries to run away but ends up slipping on the floor. Then Minjun sees something out of this world. Then she throws a freaking dumbbell at him, knocking him out. Bro, she ran away as if nothing had happened, even blaming Minjun. But imagine if the roles were reversed. Anyhow, Minjun regains his composure only to find out that she didn't just knock him out, but also broke his new phone. Needless to say, Minjun is furious with her. The next day, Minjun and his teammates prepare to face a low-ranking university in a practice match. Then Minjun sees multiple cute cheerleaders cheering for them. By the way, head cheerleader Jikyung already thinks Minjun is cute. Before starting the match, the whole squad tells Minjun and the others to give their best. Meanwhile, Minjun thinks all the cheerleaders are very cute. Anyhow, Minjun goes Jin Woo mode and destroys the opposing team, leaving everyone in shock. Then all the cheerleaders start to bully one of the opponent players for taking the ball from Minjun. As a result, Minjun easily scores a goal, defeating the opponent with ease. After finishing the match, Minjun thinks he should talk to the cheerleaders. But then Jikyung and her friend approach him. Others also follow suit, surrounding him from all sides. Overwhelmed, Minjun introduces himself. Then Jikyung starts flirting with him. Being a senior, she even starts teasing him. She asks, "Be honest with me. Do you have a girlfriend?" As soon as Minjun reveals that he doesn't, she invites him on a date. Spotting the perfect opportunity, he agrees. Though Minjun endures a bit of self-humiliation along the way, he ultimately flips the script with his Riz, and the rest is history. Thus, he manages to collect 6 points. The next day, Minjun wonders how he can collect more points so he can improve his football skills. Then the coach approaches him and tells him that he no longer needs to play the next day's game since he has already shown them what he is capable of. He also tells him to prepare for the U-League and that he'll start the first game of the season. Realizing that he will stand out a lot, Minjun gets an ego boost. However, he also realizes that with only 6 points, he can't do much, so he decides to go on another date with Jikyung. However, things have not been going well for Jikyung ever since their first date. Even I don't know what happened to her. Then Minjun gets a call back, but not from Jikyung, but from the weird girl. After talking with her, he realizes that she's the one who broke his phone. By the way, Minjun is done with this girl, so he tells her that he doesn't want anything to do with her. In response, she asks if he's angry because she broke his phone. She even offers to buy him a new one. Although Minjun brushes it off, she again offers to buy one and tells him to meet her at the Starbucks near his university. But before Minjun can say anything, she hangs up, making Minjun even angrier. With no other choice, Minjun goes to the Starbucks. However, when that girl enters, everyone, including Minjun, can't help but stare at her. Minjun acknowledges that despite being weird, she is very, very hot, like a celebrity or model. Anyhow, she sits beside Minjun and tells him she won't give him a new phone unless he gives her his old phone. He reluctantly hands it over, and she starts looking at the message Ji-kyung sent her. Well, it's safe to say this girl is a complete creep. Will we have a love triangle, or will Minjun end up with a full harem instead? What do you think? I'll upload part 2 if this video gets a good response. Thanks for sticking around till the end.